exactly 32 granules of sugar, no cream.
This will do. Thank you.
Alright, so what have I missed?
Nothing. The meeting hasn't even started because Mo isn't here yet.
Mo is here. Sorry, director, I just got a little
Morgan, are you unwell?
No, I have allergies.
Morgan, if you think you can't make it, you are excused for this meeting.
No, director, I'm fine. I just have a minor thing going on here. Okay, I just saw what our topic was for today, and I have to be here. I've spent all week preparing.
Well, if you're sure.
Hello, lovely fan ambassadors. I see you have all picked up your file folders and Grand's cupcakes. So why don't we get started on the meeting? SJ, take us away. Thank you, director. Today we're discussing the modernization of classical stories and the retelling of historical events in mainstream media.
I love when he says things like that.
What? Ian will discuss Hamilton, Allie is taking Sherlock, Beatrice will be discussing Song of Achilles, and Mo will end us with Merlin. Then, at the end, I will wrap everything up.
Did you just say
Merlin? Mo, you didn't.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my god, you did.
I don't even know what you guys are implying.
Okay, we cannot have
Feels? No. I can't be exposed to the feels, okay? I'm very susceptible, okay?
We don't usually waste the meeting. That means it's another meeting that we're not talking about anything. So that means social relevance.
Started to talk feels. No. I can't be exposed to everything, okay? It's not like very susceptible, okay? As it feels. No. I can't believe my position is susceptibility to very susceptible, okay? She has the feels. Do you even know how contagious that is? We could all die.
We all die eventually.
Well, I don't want to die before pin-off 10. I'm too young to die. I'm too pretty to die. I'm too gay
To die?
No, just in general.
What did you even do to get sick? Why didn't you get your vaccine?
Hey, I get vaccinations every year, and I got everything I needed to this year. Marvel booster shots and... Why am I even saying this? Liz, you know this. You're required to see all of our medical files before hiring us. You know I'm not a risk.
Well, there are lots of fandoms that are considered inactive, so when you go to get your vaccinations, a doctor won't necessarily make you get a bunch of booster shots for fields that you're not likely to come into contact with. Instead, it's a bit like when you're traveling to another country, when you're revisiting old content or seeing old content for the first time. You should always get vaccinated because there's no telling, you know? Which leads me to my next question. Mo, did you rewatch Merlin for your research?
Yes, but I've gotten my Merlin vaccine. This is ridiculous. I got it every single year that a new season came out.
But the show ended in 2012, which means you haven't been vaccinated in 6 years, with a feels variation so volatile. Hey, Susan, I need you to lock us down. Yep, it's exactly as I feared. We have a code 443 version 216. We need to get the CFC on the phone and down here pronto. And keep this quiet. No one dies today, and I don't need that reporter hearing about this.
What kind of a heathen comes to work with a deadly disease? We could all die because of you. I don't even watch TV.
I'm sorry, okay?
And, you know, it's not always fatal. I mean, if anyone's at risk, it's me.
Don't try to distract me with the thought of you dying.
Ethan was right. Mortrician is a very fitting name for it.
What? Nothing. Listen, guys, we don't know for sure that this is the feels, but the CFC will be here in about half an hour, and you know that we all have to be screened, alright? You know, Gran, this is my 6th cupcake today, and they are delicious, I must say. What flavor are they? Vanilla chai. Are you okay, Gran? Hmm? Oh, yes, dearie. Sorry, I was just thinking about how I got here. How did you? Well, when I was much younger, I was starting to get into Star Trek and comic books. See, I always had a tendency to get into things just as they were kicking off. So by the time that an actual fandom started to grow, I was there to help explain to the others what they needed to know. So you must have discovered the boys back in 2009 then? Exactly. And, well, I received a letter in the mail from the director, old-fashioned and all that, talking about how without Grand Fanny, so myself, she would have never really known how to take part in the Dan and Phil fandom, that she was so nervous initially that she would slip up, but the posts that we made helped her adjust. Then I was invited here to be the person who helped newer fans adjust to the chaos of fan culture. Thanks to fangirls like you, I learned everything I needed to know about the fan culture surrounding Dan and Phil. Yeah, me too. I ignored some of it because fan is real and I'm not sorry, but yeah. You're a freak. I love how we can tease each other like this. Ugh, how can you be so peppy? We haven't even gotten our test results back. We could all be dying. You don't always have to assume the worst. Do you know what pessimist means, freak? We can't be dying. I never got the chance. I never got the chance to tell them. And, you know, and they'll never know. Hey, don't do that. You know, it's okay. They know, you know, loads of people tell them every day, okay? They know how much they mean to us. I never got to meet them. I know. Hello, ladies and NBs. I just wanted to let you know that we are working as quickly as we can to determine the severity of the situation. The Ambassador Movies Only? Yes, Mildred? Please, my friends call me MD. Get it? Because, you know, it's the first and last letter of my name, but I also have an... forget it. Alright, anyways, what can you tell me about your history with the Merlin Fields? I came down with them pretty bad after the series finale a few years back. The vaccine probably saved your life back then. Unfortunately, our immune systems have kind of the opposite response to the feels than they do to normal illnesses like the cold or the flu. Whereas usually your body will develop antibodies that perfectly match a bacteria or virus infection and will fight it off every time you get it after the first time, it becomes weakened with each exposure to a repeat set of feels, especially something as old as the Merlin feels. It's very difficult to come to a point where you're immune to it. It obviously could be minor and you could just end up crying a lot, but as we all know, with the most extreme forms of feels, your ovaries could explode. Ouch. Ouch indeed, Ambassador Books Only. Now, I must get back to your blood work, but if there's anyone on the outside you feel the need to say goodbye to, just in case. Thank you, MD. You heard the good doctor. If you need to send any messages or make any calls, now would be a good time to do it. I am personally going to go ring Abby. I should message... Oh, you have people on the outside? I've been married for 50 years.
I don't have anybody else.
Me either.
Don't worry, Mo. You'll be okay. I mean, I've gotten the feels loads of times, and I'm still okay, you know? I mean, of course, I carry one of these around everywhere I go because I don't want to deal with secondhand feels, but I'm alive, right?
Allie, you're in and out of the hospital more than any fangirl I know. You keep a pretty positive attitude about such a severe set of feels.
Getting too emotionally involved is a weakness of mine, I admit, but I don't regret a moment of it. Middle school is when I started to get involved in fandoms and all of that, and it led me to meeting some of my best friends, and, you know, that was really good for my depression and my social anxiety. So, yes, sometimes I get a little emotionally overwhelmed, but I mean, fandoms and feels ultimately led me to getting this job, and this is a really cool job. And I really like being around you guys.
I wish I shared your optimism. How could I have been so stupid? I mean, this is like the first thing you learn at the Fancademy. Never go into content without the appropriate vaccinations.
Hey, we all make mistakes sometimes.
Yeah, but not the kind of mistakes that get you and your 10 best friends killed.
Maybe not, but still, I mean, we've all gotten the feels. I know I personally have to get the Percy Jackson vaccine every year, just because I will probably reread it.
I bet you would.
I get the Dan and Phil vaccine, the Thomas Sanders one, the Lily Singh one.
We get it. You're a hot mess with too many YouTube obsessions.
Oh, and I guess you're immune to feels then.
Being emotionally dead inside is a pretty good immune response, but I do get some specific boosters. So like pin-off, Sanders sides, dill videos, Halloween baking, spooky week, Joan.
What about gaming miss?
Ugh, gaming miss. I forgot about that one. I need to call my doctor when we get out of here.
Just ask Mildred when she gets back with the test results. I can't help but think about how Spy and I got here.
No one asked us.
It had been a couple of years since we'd seen each other face to face, you see. After middle school, our paths took us different ways, Agent, on spying adventures, and I took on my own theatrical endeavors. See, our paths had no reason to cross, but it was while we were getting coffee one afternoon that the director approached us. Obviously, theater is my true passion, but I've always wanted to do more, make a difference.
I told the director that this organization was a government conspiracy to round up intense fangirls and brainwash them into doing the organization's bidding. But see, assured me this was not the case.
You two were both so eccentric when I first met you, and in such opposite ways. I knew it was going to benefit to have old friends on the team. I know I've been really getting on everyone's case lately about the fact that we've gone through so many meetings without talking about anything of social relevance, and I do want to apologize for that. And I want you guys to know that since April, you guys have become 9, 10 of my closest friends. Fandoms are first and foremost about community, and I've definitely found that with you guys. Some of you more than others. How did you end up here, SJ? When I was a kid, society had really done its job in convincing me that femininity equated weakness. I spent so much time trying to push away anything that was girly or made me seem like other girls, and somewhere in there I began to lose myself, I guess. It took me stumbling across Lily Singh's videos and her talking about feminism and girl love to really start to not only embrace my womanhood, but also accept my genderlessness. It's just, no one should have to fight that hard to see themselves through their own eyes instead of the world's, and no one should have to fight that hard
to accept their identity. So I decided that whatever I could do with fandoms to help other people, I had to do it.
So being a part of Team Super is what sparked your dedication to feminism?
Yeah, and every fandom I joined after that just continued to contribute until I was finally this way.
And we just adore you this way, Sarah Jane.
That's not my name.
Then what is it?
Maybe we could continue on with the meeting as planned.
I would really like that.
Mo, since you're the one who risked her life for the topic, maybe you want to start us off.
Sure, but you might want to join Allie with the mask. You know that it gets more contagious when I talk about it. Okay. The Arthurian legends have been retold countless times, but I think that BBC Merlin's is by far one of the most different. And I'm not even talking about just the literal alterations that make such a different story, but the small ripples that change the entire dynamic. The largest of these, I think, was Arthur being raised by his father Uther and being taught to hate magic, making it so that Merlin could only operate in secret. I want to hate that, but it sounds interesting. I think that it's important to continue retelling old stories because it gives them new life and keeps them socially relevant. A lot of these have timeless morals and lessons, but each generation can relate to something a little bit different. Like the constant remaking of Marvel movies?
Exactly. The thing is that this version of Merlin has given us something that a lot of our generation can relate to. Arthur.
But Merlin is 3 times Arthur's age.
Not in BBC's Merlin.
And Merlin chose to go to the Lady of the Lake instead of staying with Arthur in Camelot, and then she kills him.
Not in BBC's Merlin. In this, Merlin chooses Arthur, of course, after acting as his manservant and all of that, operating in secret to save his life since magic is illegal in Camelot, but he does eventually tell Arthur the truth when Arthur is dying in his arms.
I see why it's so important to get vaccinated for this particular show.
I wish it was just the normal things like this, but when it starts with the dragon's voice, it just couldn't follow my heart was getting slammed against my chest.
John Hurt.
I thought I was ready to face it, but I mean, of all the celebrities I hoped I'd meet.
I understand. Feels had me in the hospital after Carrie Fisher.
Maybe you should talk to Mildred about it when all of this is over.
Even if you just need a friend to talk to. I'm here. This just in. There has been a feels outbreak at the United Fandoms Embassy with all 10 ambassadors quarantined inside, along with a fandom member who was apparently there observing the meeting.
Ugh, turn it off. She's been trying to discredit me and my organization since day one. Something about how it's just a club in my living room.
Don't worry, Director. Otoko?
Yes?
In case we don't make it out of this thing alive, I think that I should tell you that— Good news, ladies and NBs.
No!
The 10 of you who are not Fambassador movies only are completely free of the feels. Now, Fambassador all content, given your medical record and past experience with the feels, I would still like to check up on you just to be sure, but other than that, the 11 of you are cleared.
What about me?
It's mild grief feels at the worst. Treat it pretty much like a Dementor attack with lots of chocolate and
you should be feeling better in no time. Though I am going to prescribe you some antiphylotics, and remember, even when you start to feel better, continue taking it until it's all done. That way, you know, the feels don't build up an immunity to the medication. But the majority of your symptoms are actually a little bit closer to seasonal allergies. You may want to start taking like Zyrtec or something, but other than that, you are completely fine.
The building is no longer on lockdown. You are now free to leave. You made me call you my friend for allergies?
Oh boy, here we go.
I cannot believe how irresponsible you were to go into a show that you knew was this intense of feels. What kind of idiot even does that? And then even I almost caught the feels from you. Do you know how stupid that is? I don't even watch TV. This is ridiculous.
You can say that again.